For tonight's club events contest, we're excited to have Terry Pelmore with us. She is a Maryland-based digital artist, and when she retired from a career in science, she intended to get back to photography, which had been a creative outlet for her in her earlier years. In the interim, photography has gone digital. Captivated by the software that allowed her greater artistic versatility, Terry immersed herself in digital painting. While she is self-taught in digital techniques, she reached out to local artists to learn traditional artistic media in an effort to expand her toolset. An electronic stylus is her paintbrush and the computer screen her canvas. She prints on traditional and non-traditional surfaces and often enhances printed images with an overlay of paints and or pastels. Her blending of digital and classic approaches results in a style uniquely hers. Terry's artwork has won many awards and honors and a number of exhibitions and online competitions. Her work is on display at District Arts in Frederick, Maryland, the Artists Gallery in Ellicott City, Maryland. She also shows various exhibitions in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, Terry, I think I have you a little bit low on the mixer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a couple things up here and see if we can't get you up a little louder. Okay, I'm working on this right here. Okay, let's see if that's good. Christine, can I get you to get me a sound check over there? Are we doing okay? Terry, can I go ahead and get you to say something for me?
Is this any better?
Let me just get a double check on that. I'm hearing everything else fine. I figured we need to balance this out once we went live. All right, Terry, we are perfect. Thank you so much for working with us on that. Welcome, Terry. Thank you for joining us tonight.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Terry, you mentioned photography as a creative outlet in your earlier years. Being darkroom based, did you find yourself leaning towards more artistic methods of processing and enlarging your photographs?
Well, at the time, I was fairly limited in my equipment, so I stuck pretty much to standard procedures with the normal dodging and burning that people do. But did do a lot of cropping to get the composition to be just the way I wanted it.
Perfect. What was your film camera of choice?
I treated myself on a very poor student salary to a 35 millimeter Canon camera back in 1976 or so. And
Oh,
I still have it. I love it.
oh,
I did change to digital, a Canon digital back when I retired in 2008, 2009.
okay. What film did you like to shoot?
Um, well, it was 35 millimeter, but I don't remember what the general characteristics were. Probably just the 200.
Gotcha. Now that you've shaped, you're working something different. You're making these digital creations. Has any of your experience in the darkroom shaped how you create your current work?
Um, in part, I mean, I learned a lot doing photography about what makes a good composition, and that certainly has transferred over. But there's so much more now that I can do that it's like at a totally different level of creativity.
That's great. Well, Terry, I guess we'll go ahead and get started on. Let's get started on the contest now. Now we've got a record number of images. I think that at least that I've ever seen. It's going to be very difficult to narrow these down. And what we'll do is we're going to go through these images one by one. You should have them also on your machine at home and sorted by a file name. These images are randomized, and what I will do is I will work through the images. I will read the number. I will read the name, and if you can give us a little bit of a critique. Now, of course, we have 150 images to go, so we'll need to go a little bit on the quicker side. But if you can give your just kind of spot thoughts on each image as we go through, and then What we'll do is we'll go through them at first together, and then we'll go back to the first image, and then you can give your critiques. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, let me get set up here. I have Lightroom set up just a little bit differently for tonight. Okay, image 1, Woods Church.
Mm-hmm.
Image 2.
You want me to?
No,
Okay,
we'll get
we'll
your
just go.
we'll get your critique on the way back. Image 2, Rams Head Dockside.
Uh-huh.
Image 3, Tabletop RC on Ice.
Right.
Image 4. Am I seeing 4B? Is that 4B? Tabletop 2?
That's what I see.
Okay. Image 5, Ring Catch.
Yes.
Image 6, Library of Congress.
Yes.
7, Mustang.
Yes.
8, My Pride and Joy.
Yes.
9, Cunningham Falls.
Yes.
10, Coins.
Yes.
11, Blackwater Refuge Geese at Sunset.
Yes.
12, Tabletop.
Yes.
13, Eagle.
Yes.
14, Banquet.
Yes.
15, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 1.
Yes.
16B, Christmas Party 2.
Yes.
17, Longwood Gardens.
Yes.
18, B25.
Yes.
19, Christmas Party.
Yes.
20, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 1.
Yes.
21, Draw.
Yes.
22B, Egg and Brush.
Yes.
23, Icescapes.
Yes.
24, Fire Museum.
Yes.
25B, Jericho Covered Bridge.
Yes.
26, BMX.
Yes.
27B, Lost Fish.
Yes.
29B, Picnic 2.
Yes.
30, Carnival Barker.
Yes.
31, Jerusalem Village.
Yes.
32B, Renaissance Princess.
Yes.
33, Tuckahoe Steam Gas Show.
Yes.
34B, Fire Museum.
Yes.
35B, Icescapes.
Yes.
36, Food Photography Tabletop.
Yes.
37B, Food Photography Tabletop.
Yes.
38, Mancala Lights.
Yes.
39, Longwood Gardens.
Yes.
40, Picnic.
Yes.
41B, Cunningham Falls.
Yes.
42, Studio Night.
Yes.
43B, Liberty.
Yes.
44B, Library of Congress.
Yes.
45B, Old Glory.
Yes.
46, Tuckahoe Steam and Gas.
Yes.
47, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 2.
Yes.
48, Sandy Point State Park.
Yes.
49B, Bombay Hook.
Yes.
50B, Studio Night.
Yes.
51, Cascade Falls.
Yes.
52, A Single Drop.
Yes.
53, Tabletop Ice Cream and Sunshine.
Yes.
54, Wings and Wheels.
Yes.
55B, Tuckahoe Steam and Gas.
Yes.
56B, Woods Church.
Yes.
57, Kenilworth Gardens.
Yes.
58, Twin Scoops.
Yes.
And 59, July 4th Fireworks.
Yes.
Terry, we're going to go back to image number 1. Now, these images are from our club events throughout the year. These could be field trips, tabletop nights, see some parties, you see some images that the club has participated in, and we have color, we have black and white, and your goal is to award one winner in this novice category, and this winner will receive
That will
a
be fun.
free membership for the 2020-2021 season.
Wow.
Now, what we
Okay.
can do is we'll gladly go through, and as we go through, if you'd like to give a quick critique, and you can kind of say in or out to help move those along, and then we can go through a couple times after that, and then get down to the grand winner in this category. Does that sound okay?
Sounds, sounds good.
Okay, let me get back to image number one, Woods Church. When you're ready.
Okay. This is a nice gathering of people that it's well composed, but it's simply a gathering, and so it really doesn't do much for me as a artistic photo, and so I would say out.
Okay, image number one is out. Two, Ram's Head Dockside.
Um, I love the expression on this woman's face looking at her phone, and it's clearly a nice photo of this woman, but there's a lot of distracting. The blue umbrellas and the white bokeh, I guess, are distracting. So I would say out.
Okay, number two is out. Three, Tabletop RC on Ice.
Um, this is quite striking when you first look at it. I like the lighting. I like the background, which has some interest, even though it is completely dark. But when it comes right down to it, it's a simple photo, and so in general, it lacks a wow factor, and I would say out.
Okay, number three is out. Four, 4B, excuse me, Tabletop.
This, at first glance, this was intriguing because it was hard to figure out what was going on here, and like before I knew the title of the picture, and so it caught my attention. But when I finally figured out that it was a tabletop, because I did look at these a little bit ahead of time, I noticed it kind of lost interest for me. For one thing, it looks like it needs some curve adjustments, and I do like the shadow in the bottom, but it was just a little bit lacking of a wow factor, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Is four out?
So we're out.
Okay,
Yeah.
four is out. Five, Ring Catch.
I am trying.
What was that,
I
Terry?
am trying to be rather. I am trying to be rather ruthless in my selection so that I can cut as many out as possible in the beginning.
It's going to need to happen, unfortunately, with this many images. It's and getting down to one, it's going to be very tough. So, however you need to do it.
Okay.
When you're ready, five, Ring Catch.
Ring Catch. I really love the action that's caught here. It's very compelling. The one thing that bothers me about this picture is that the crowd in the background is distracting. But because it's such a compelling action, let's put it in for now.
Okay. Five, Ring Catches in. Six, Library of Congress.
Yeah, this is a really nice panorama. It blends really nicely. It pulls you in. There are some distractions, like the white square at the bottom center it pulls your eye away from the rest of the image, and that's one distraction. But it is a beautiful panorama, and for now, let's put it in.
Okay, six is in. Seven, Mustang.
This one, it's a classic shot of the dashboard of an old car, but it's so well done that I would like to put it in. There is one There is one distraction that I want to point out, and that is the rear view mirror pulls your eye away from that focal point. But let's have it in for now.
Okay, 7 is in. 8, my pride and joy.
Um, I love the bright red. I guess it's a tractor of some sort. But there's and the expression on the driver's face is priceless. But there's so much distracting. I don't know where to rest my eyes, and so I would say out.
Number 8 is out. 9, Cunningham Falls.
This is a nice landscape. The problem I have with this is that there's no tonal variation except for the very bright spot up at the top, and so it has potential to be a really wonderful image, but because of that, I have to say out.
Okay, number 9 is out. 10, coins.
The coins are fabulous. There's wonderful detail in these. There's a lot of contrast between the copper pennies and the quarters, and you can even see the little bits of copper along the edges of the quarters. It's got a nice focal point in the middle where they meet, and there's a lot of contrast. That's definitely in.
Okay, 10 is in. 11, Blackwater Refuge Geese at Sunset.
Yeah, this one has a real wow factor. It really takes you in. It's a marvelous scene, and so that's definitely in.
11 is in. 12, Tabletop.
Now this picture of the RC Cola is also very intriguing, and I like it. I love the ice cubes. The layer of ice underneath is a nice touch. It really puts it in context, and I like the background. There's enough interest there that you can look at it and without it being distracting. And I love the reflection of the bottle underneath. And so let's keep that in.
12 is in. 13, Eagle.
Excellent detail in the eagle, and the open mouth and the eyes and the claws. I think that it's a fabulous capture, but all of the leaves around are very, very distracting, and so for that reason, I think we need to take it out.
Okay, 13 is out. 14, Banquet.
It looks like a wonderful cake, but the silverware and the whatever that is in red on the left are very distracting, and there's no wow factor. There's no it's not a compelling image for anything other than people who may have been at that event, and so for that reason it's out.
Okay, 14 is out. 15, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 1.
This is because this model, I suppose, is so dramatic. It draws you in, but when you start looking at the picture, you see the shadow of her arm on the screen behind, and it sort of pulls away from the effect. And there's, yeah, for that reason, I think it needs to come out.
Okay, 15 is out. 16, Christmas Party.
You know, I think I love the expressions on everybody's face, and you know, it's a nice capture. But as far as an artistic picture, I think it's lacking. There's distractions of the shoulder on the left side and the person behind the central gentleman in the middle. There it's just too distracting, and so for that reason it's out.
Okay, 16 is out. 17, Longwood Gardens.
I love that waterfall. I love the detail of the water. There's enough blur to the water coming down the 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 fall that you can feel the motion. It's a lovely image. Um, let's keep that in.
Okay, 17 is in. 18, B25.
This really captures some activity. It's kind of hard to do, but you can see the rotors rotating, and you can imagine that this fellow on the right is walking towards the plane. And there's beautiful contrast, but for me, it didn't really engage me. It didn't pull me into a story, and so I think I'm going to leave it out.
Okay. 18 is out. 19, Christmas party.
Yeah, night photography is really tough, and so this is a nice example of night photography. But again, it's not an image that engaged me. It's well done, but it's not engaging, and so it's out.
Okay. 19 is out. 20, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 1.
Yeah, this picture of the same model in the same setting as I've seen is I like a whole lot better. It gives context to her presence and her costume, and it tells a story. But I think that it needs some curve adjustments in the image, and so for that reason, I would take it out.
Okay. 20 is out. 21, draw.
This one really had a wow factor for me. It's got tremendous amount of detail that is absolutely wonderful. The background is plain and dark, but it does have these shapes and shades of gray in the background that are intriguing without being distracting, and the lighting is wonderful. So I would like to leave that in.
21 is in. 22, egg and brush.
It's a nice abstract. It's an interesting shape. But for the most part, it doesn't have a wow factor for me. So that would be out.
Okay, 22 is out. 23, icescapes.
It's a nicely shot image of a gathering that we're never going to see anymore. But it doesn't have a wow factor for me, and so for that reason, it's out.
23 is out. 24, fire museum.
This is an interesting image. It's spend a lot of time looking at the this piece, but I don't have a place to rest my eye. I'm looking all over the place. There's no clear focal point, and so for that reason, I would take it out.
Okay, 24 is out. 25, Jericho covered bridge.
It's a standard shot, well done, where you're looking through to the end of the bridge. My main issue with it is that it could use a little bit more contrast to really give it some pop, and so for that reason, it's out.
Okay, 25 is out. 26, BMX.
These bicycle shots are always exciting because you catch somebody in midair, and so it's well done in that respect. The fact that the cloud is really sharpening the contrast between the bike rider and the background really helps focus on the central point. But there's a lot of distraction in the trees on the left, and the flag. Well, I guess the flag helps, is not so bad. It limits your view. I think it could do with a bit of cropping. Um, so I think it should be out.
Okay, 26 is out. 27, lost fish.
Um, this one is, I like the contrast in it. It's hard to really, can spend a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on here. And then there's no place, again, your eye is pulled to all over the image. And so it's too distracting for me. And so I would take it out.
Okay, 27 is out. 29, picnic.
It's a great, what I would call a great snapshot. It the expressions on the faces are wonderful. They're obviously having a great time. The gentleman on the right, though, is in shadow, and so it's hard to see him in contrast to the gentleman on the left. And there's a lot of distraction in the upper left-hand corner, and so for those reasons, I would take it out.
29 is out. 30, carnival. Carnival barker.
This is very striking because of the primary colors that are in use here, and you're drawn to the man behind the counter and the barker himself, and so it's nice in that regard, but it's to be ruthless again. It's not a compelling image for me, and so for that reason, I would take it out.
30 is out. 31, Jerusalem village.
This it's an interesting picture, and I would have hoped that it would be cropped a little bit more so that you could focus your attention on the man in the fire who's tending the fire. There's a lot of extraneous pieces in this that just are distracting and take away from the primary story of the picture, and for those reasons, I would leave it out.
Okay. 31 is out. 32, Renaissance princess.
It's a beautiful picture, and a great capture of very joyful expression. The lighting on the face is a little bit shadowed, and when you contrast that with the brightness in the background, it you lose your focal point, and so it needs a little bit of curve adjustments to fix that, and perhaps some burning of the background. And so for those reasons, it's out.
Okay, 32 is out. 33, Tuckahoe steam gas show.
It's a great shot, nicely done, but it has no impact for me. It doesn't have a wow factor, and so it is out.
Okay, 33 is out. 34, fire museum.
I really like this picture. It's got nice focal points with the 3 reels of tape or whatever it is. It could use a little bit of adjustment in the curves. It could use some removal of some of the distractions in the upper left and upper right. But basically, it's a great picture, and I do like it a lot. So let's leave it in for now.
34 is in. 35, ice-scapes.
This picture, I just didn't know what the subject was. I had a really tough time with figuring out where to look. And so for that reason, it's out.
35 is out. 36, food photography tabletop.
it looks delicious. Um, and that knife looks scary. But when push comes to shove, food pictures just don't do it for me. And so for that reason, it's out.
36 is out. 37, food photography tabletop.
This one, I was kind of confused with about what the intent was, to show somebody taking a picture of somebody taking a picture of the food. And it was very distracting in terms of the whole setup. And so for that reason, it's out.
37 is out. 38, Mancala lights.
This one, I really like the colors and the composition. It's lovely. The lighting is fabulous. Let's leave it in for now.
38 is in. 39, Longwood Gardens.
I like the monochrome effect, but and I think it is an interesting shot for this scene, but it's lacking details that would make it really compelling, and so for that reason, it's out.
39 is out. 40, Picnic.
This appears to me like just a family snapshot, or a friend's snapshot, and as terms of artistic photography, it doesn't really compel me. So take it out.
40 is out. 41, Cunningham Falls.
I like the scene. I think it would be better in color, or at least with some curve adjustment and some significant cropping to really focus on some of the central components of the image that are most interesting. So for that reason, it's out.
41 is out. 42, Studio Night.
I like the composition of this. Having these triangles of the composition, it's really nicely done. There, brick on the side, though. I mean, I know that they're compelled to have the picture as it is, and there was no screen over the brick on the left. But without it there, it's very distracting, and so I would take it out.
Okay, 42 is out. 43, Liberty.
This one I liked a lot. It was a very compelling image that really spoke to today's issues. It's clearly from a coin, but it made clear the one message that was important. Let's leave it in.
Okay, 43 is in. 44, Library of Congress.
Good picture, but it really needs some curve adjustment, and I think that without it lacks a wow factor, and so it's out.
44 is out. 45, Old Glory.
I could spend a lot of time looking at all of the details in this image and still be lost in it. That said, there's no focal point, and so for me, it doesn't work, and so for that reason, it's out.
Okay, 45 is out. 46, Tuckahoe Steam and Gas.
Um, this one is I like the colors. I like the composition. Um, but the writing on the right, the 73, 75, 200 is distracting, and it it needs a little bit more um, pop. It's not there, and so for that reason, it's out.
46 is out. 47, Day of the Dead photo shoot number 2.
This one I love. The the woman is catching you with her eyes. She's really you're caught in her stare. The colors frame her nicely. The background is is not distracting. It complements her hair and her lips and her cheeks and her top. I think it's a very compelling picture, and let's leave it in.
Okay, 47 is in. 48, Sandy Point State Park.
It's a very peaceful scene, and I like that. Um, the focal point, though, is all the way in the top back in the top left, and that just doesn't work for me. I like the way the beachfront and the dark water line converge back there, but there's spray that I guess sea spray that's distracting on the right, and it needs a better crop, and I think some curve adjustments, and so it's out.
Okay, 48 is out. 49, Bombay Hook.
This picture really has a lot of potential, but I like the window that's obscured by the branches and some of the rubble on top. But it would benefit from some serious cropping to really put that into a better focal point. And so for that reason, it's out.
49 is out. 50, Studio Night.
This one didn't really do much for me. The model in this one is staring off into space, and so she didn't engage me. And there's a lot of contrast in her arm, and that becomes the focal point because it's so bright. And so for that reason, it's out.
50 is out. 51, Cascade Falls.
This is a nice scene, but it would benefit from some serious cropping. There are many distracting components to it, particularly the log that's resting on the top of the rock to the right and center of the image, just above the waterfall. But if it were to focus on the waterfall, and that might dramatically improve the image. And so for those reasons, it's out.
51 is out. 52, A Single Drop.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these images in various spots, and I'm always intrigued by them because it must be very hard to capture the drop like that. But that said, this was not something special for me, and so for that reason, it's out.
52 is out. 53, Tabletop Ice Cream and Sunshine.
I like this one. It's something a little bit different. And, it kind of makes you smile because ice cream always makes people smile, and the sunshine behind it is kind of a plus. what's what's the problem I have with this is the crop on top. Just I would like a little bit more space on top and on bottom to, to let that ice cream cone breathe a little bit. And for that reason, it's out.
53 is out. 54, wings and wheels.
This picture, I mean, you can see the pilot waving, and he's clearly, I mean, it's clearly an interesting shot and a well taken shot, but the propellers look frozen. There's no exhaust. It's hard to see that it's moving at all, which would be odd, but it's almost a still. And the only thing that lets me know that it's really in the sky are the clouds. And so because of those issues I have with it, it's out.
54 is out. 55, Tuckahoe Steam and Gas.
This was, I kind of like this. It's got a lot of interesting components to it. And it's a fascinating piece of equipment. But there's a lot of distractions of the bright spots on the left side. And so for that reason, it's out.
Okay, 55 is out. 56, Woods Church.
I love the expressions on these folks' face. They seem so happy. But that said, it seems like just a standard photograph of two people with a lot of distractions of the hallway and the building. And I would think it needs a little bit more contrast. A little bit, the white level seems a little low. And so for that reason, it's out.
56 is out. 57, Kenilworth Gardens.
I love pictures of flowers, I have to admit. And this is a lovely flower. The issue I have with it is that it's surrounded by distractions. The pink flower is lost with some of the contrast of the green leaves on the right with the dark brown background there, and it really takes away from that image, and so for that reason, it's out.
57 is out. 58, Twin Scoops.
This one I really like. The vanilla versus the chocolate, it really makes a nice contrast. It gives with the scoop there, it really tells a story, and it's a story to make you smile. My one issue with it is that the blue background is just too flat, and I would recommend putting in a very subtle texture behind it, an overlay, and to just give it a little bit of depth in the back. But I think the story it tells is in the image itself is just compelling enough that I'd like to keep it in.
58 is in. 59, July 4th fireworks.
Fireworks pictures are tough, and this is a nice one, and I love the red glow to the whole thing. But that said, it doesn't engage me, and so I have to keep it out.
Okay, 59 is out, and that's the end of our images. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the flags that we rejected. If you can go ahead and do the same for me, Terry. And let's see, let me go up in here to my attributes. Okay, we have 13 images. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit easier on you, just because we had two of the officers mention that there may be some photos in here that may have been last year's club events contests, and they might not qualify. So, Terry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you pick a first through third, and as we go through the next competition, we will have our officers just kind of double check things, and then we will announce the grand winner. Now, the second and third place people will not get anything, but maybe a firm handshake when all this Corona is over. But
Okay.
that's something we can do. That way, our officers can have a couple options in case something doesn't qualify.
Okay. Sounds good.
We have 13 images remaining.
Yes, we have 13 images remaining.
Okay, we can go through them again, or if you'd like to start putting them in some kind of an order right now, we can do that as well.
Order meaning preference order.
First through third,
Um,
or we
I
can go
guess
through them again.
yeah. Well, since I had them in advance, I did go through these, and what really stood out to me was number 10, the coins.
Are you
That's the
talking
number.
Liberty or no? You're okay. I'm looking at a different one. I'm sorry. 10
Yeah,
coins.
number 10.
That's the one
Yeah,
with the quarters and the penny as well, right?
correct.
Is that your pick for first place?
That's my pick for first place.
Let me see if I've got the officers on the line. If we can get them to give us a thumbs up, we won't need to worry about a second and a third. We've got a good stream. We've got a good connection tonight. I think with people starting to get back into work, we're not getting as much of a delay in Facebook, so we've got a pretty good connection. I think they're kind of convening on that. And Terry, if you were to pick a second place, if that meant anything, what would you pick?
My second place would be number 47, Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead, fantastic. And
I love those eyes.
let me go through and just verify who we have here. Oh, let's see where we got. Let me just find out my initials here. And our winner for the novice contest, club events contest, is Paul Wilcox. Congratulations, Paul! And that is your coins image, Terry. That one's good.
Oh, good.
Excellent. Congratulations, Paul. We're going to go over to our unlimited. If you can follow me there, Terry. Now, what I'm going to do is just for the sake of time, we're going to ask you to speed up the critiques a little bit more, and I'm not going to read them through the first time. What we'll do is, as we go through and you give the critiques and say in or out, just make sure that we're on the same page with the numbers. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let me get
So
set up.
do you want me to read the?
I will read them.
I'm ready.
I'll read them to you.
Okay.
First image in the unlimited category is number 1, leaves and ice.
Yes, leaves are nice. It has a nice. Let me hold on a second. I need to like this. It has. I like the contrast, but there's no focal point, so it's out.
Okay. Get focus back over here. Number 1 is out. Number 2, macro ball 1.
I like the concept of the macro ball, but it's there's too much distraction and lack of the surrounding area doesn't add too much, so it's out.
Number 2's out. Number 3, Ram's Head Dockside.
I really like the orange and the ball, and the composition is lovely. So let's leave it in for now.
3 is in. 4, Food Burger.
Again, it's food, but so my bias is against it. But in addition, the yellow U of the image is, and the shape on the lower right is distracting, so it's out.
4 is out. 5, Fireworks.
Fireworks is same issue I had in the other fireworks. This is a beautiful picture, nicely done, but fireworks really don't thrill me. So it's out.
5 is out. 6, resting.
I love this picture. This gentleman. It's really a great character. And there are some distractions, but basically it's I really like it. So let's leave it in.
6 is in. 7, Cascade Falls.
Um, it, the composition is great, but the green tones are distracting, and so it's out.
7 is out. 8, Spring and Fall Color.
I love this image. It's the colors are beautiful. They go well together. The textures are make it really interesting. So that's in.
8 is in. Number 9, Domino Sugar Smoke.
This is a nice picture. It there's a it really tells a story, and I like that. So let's keep it in.
9 is in. 10 is Ocean City.
Um, I've seen so many pictures like this that it doesn't have a wow factor for me. It's nicely done. It's technically excellent, but because of the wow factor missing, it's out.
10 is out. Number 11, Golden Grass.
I love the grass on the left that's in bright detail. The lighting is gorgeous, but the other elements in the image are very distracting and don't add anything, so it's out.
11 is out. 12, Little Pollen.
This I really like these um, this detail in this picture, and the background of the other petals is just adds to it, and it's very well composed. It's beautifully done, so it's in.
12 is in. 13, A Slow Death.
This when once you start looking at this and you see the eyeballs, it's incredible picture that's kind of very scary. It's got some great tones and contrast, and so let's leave it in.
13 is in. 14, BMX.
It's a nice shot technically, but it doesn't have a wow factor for me, so it's out.
14 is out. 15, Flight.
Again, it's an excellent shot. It doesn't have the contrast that I would like to see, and for that reason, it's out.
15 is out. 16, Bombay Hook.
Great detail in this picture, and I like the colors, but it also didn't engage me, so it's out.
16 is out. 17, Sunset Pier.
This is I like the horizontals. It's very stabilizing. It makes you feel like things are solid, but it needs some curve correction, and the lightness on the left side is distracting. So that's out.
17 is out. 18, Pretty Bird.
It is a pretty bird, and the detail in the bird's face is excellent, but there's it's not, it doesn't engage, the picture does not engage me. There's not enough of a points of interest elsewhere, so for that reason it's out.
18 is out. 19, Self-Portrait.
This one makes me laugh because it's so true to form these days, to protect the toilet paper, and the facial expressions and the colors are just really perfect. So let's leave it in.
19 is in. 20, Bird Trio.
I love these three birds. They're nice and white, and the contrast is great, and they very few distractions. So let's leave it in.
20 is in. 21, Holiday Party.
This is as far as I can tell, perfectly composed image, within the constraints of shooting in a non-studio environment. And so For that reason, let's leave it in.
21 is in. 22, open cockpit Saturdays.
Interesting piece of equipment. No focal point and too many distractions, so it's out.
22 is out. 23, open cockpit Saturdays.
This image lacks the wow factor for me, so it's out.
23 is out. 24, flower in white.
Beautiful flower, love the bee or whatever insect it is inside, but the black and white didn't work for me in this, so it's out.
24 is out. 25, Canadian snowbirds.
It's very striking picture. The positioning of the cloud is perfect. It could use a little bit more interest, or in the edges, and maybe a little. I guess it's cropped really nicely, but let's leave it in.
25 is in. 26, synapse joint.
It's an interesting image, but I couldn't. It wasn't compelling for me. I couldn't wrap my head around it, so it's out.
26 is out. 27, flag in Baltimore Harbor. VMI flag in Baltimore Harbor, sorry.
It's very basic colors, which is a plus. But it didn't. There's no wow factor for me, so it's out.
27 is out. 28, Cascade Falls.
It's a nice bridge, but there's certainly a focal point, but it didn't engage me, so it's out.
28 is out. 29, Silent Pod.
I love this picture. It is the epitome of spring. It's got beautiful detail and wonderful colors that blend really well, and clearly a focal point. Let's leave it in.
29 is in. 30, flower fishing.
This one didn't do anything for me. So the images on the flower don't seem even to be in focus, and so it's out.
30 is out. 31, middle-aged bloom.
I really like this picture. I think it has tremendous potential, but it needs a little bit more contrast somewhere in the petals or perhaps the background, and so for that reason it's out.
31 is out. 32, Day of the Dead, profile in the dead.
This is a nicely composed picture, but it didn't engage me, so it's out.
32 is out. 33, getting steamed up.
There's a lot going on in this picture. But for me there wasn't a focal point, and so for that reason it's out.
33 is out. 34, tabletop food.
It's food, my bias, and the black and white really I don't think works with this, so it's out.
34 is out. 35, Day of the Dead quartet.
Again, this, as with one of the others that we saw, this triangular feel is very nice, but I don't think it works as well in black and white, so it's out.
35 is out. 36, self-portrait.
This is fascinating because you notice the iframes and the eyes, and the clouds are lovely. So it's engaging and interesting, and for that reason I'd like to keep it in.
36 is in. 37, tabletop glass and water.
I see a lot of these pictures too, and I think this one is really nicely done. The colors So the turquoise and the red are just really nice combination on a stark white background. It just works really well. So let's leave that in.
37 is in. 38. TP Noir.
Toilet paper. Yeah, toilet papers are always a great topic these days. What I really like about this image is the light in the lower left, and that's what makes the picture. So for that reason, I'd like to keep it in.
38 is in. 39. Toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper again. This one isn't nearly as compelling, and so for that reason, it's out.
39 is out. 40. Tabletop food.
Ice cream cone. I like the chocolate and the vanilla so much better that this one really didn't work for me, so it's out.
40 is out. 41. Bombay Path.
I love the way the path leads it off into the horizon, and the sky is interesting, but there's not enough about this image that gives it a wow factor. So for that reason, it's out.
41 is out. 42. Boy watching Cascade Falls.
Sweet picture, but as far as an artistic photography, I wouldn't include it as artistic. It's a nice snapshot, so a wonderful snapshot. So for that reason, it's out.
42 is out. 43. Water drip.
Again, it's another one of the waters. This one is, I think, the cropping where it's so close to the top water droplet was bothersome. So for that reason, it's out.
43 is out. 44. It's really water.
I found it's a nice photograph. It's got a lot of contrast, but it's got a very distracting background, and so it's out.
44 is out. 45. Cascade Falls in the summer.
This is the same scene that we saw before. I hadn't noticed, and it's much better with this crop, but it doesn't work as well in black and white, and for that reason, it's out.
45 is out. 46. Day of the Dead, Frank and Mary.
I like this because it's different and it's scary and it's compelling, and the eyes are looking at you, and so let's leave it in.
46 is in. 47. Flying aircraft.
This sorry, this shows a lot of motion. You can see the propellers turning and the exhaust coming out, but it didn't engage me. So for that reason, it's out.
47 is out. 48. Name that brand.
Another one. It's just another toilet paper picture at this point, so it's out.
48 is out. 49. Royal Crown Soda.
I like this picture better than the other ones that we saw previously because it's got a punch to it. But I don't think it works that well in black and white, and so for that reason, it's out.
49 is out. 50. Night Heron.
Beautiful detail, beautiful capture of the bird, but the foliage is distracting, so for that reason, it's out.
50 is out. 51. Kenilworth Gardens.
Really nice detail in this dragonfly, I suppose. Is it a dragonfly? But the green background just looks too artificial, and so for that reason, and too plain. So for that reason, it's out.
51 is out. 52. Plane controls.
Once again, there's a lot going on in here, and it's very distracting. It's a nice picture, and it's an interesting image, but there's no focal point. So for that reason, it's out.
52 is out. 53. Turtle reflects.
it's a nice photograph. There's a lot of detail in the turtle's face and front appendages. I like the reflection, but it's I don't feel like my eye is resting anywhere. It's jittering around the image, and so for that reason, it's out.
53 is out. 54, Library of Congress Dome.
I thought this was a really nice image. A lot of people try to take these kinds of pictures. I know I have, and I failed miserably. Um, this one is really nice. There's enough symmetry to make it pleasing, but not enough to make it boring. And so, for that reason, it's in.
54 is in. 55, Nurse Frizzle.
Um, this it's a nice photograph, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't engage me. So for that reason, it's out.
55 is out. 56, Ocean City.
I like this photograph. It's very compelling. It's got the two people and the contrast and the waves. Um, there's a little bit of distraction over the left side of the horizon, but for now, let's leave it in.
56 is in. 57, Helicopter.
Great detail, nice concept, but there's not enough contrast to make it work. So it's out.
57 is out. 58, Brownie Photographer.
I like the idea. I think that the cut and crop could have been done a little bit more technically, a little bit better. And so for that reason, it's out.
58 is out. 59, Colorful Glass.
Um, I like the colors, but they are it's there's not enough here to create enough interest for me to stay with it. So it's out.
59 is out. 60, Golden Skeleton.
It's a nice shot, and she's looking straight at you, but she doesn't draw me in. So for that reason, it's out.
60 is out. 61, Got My Eye on You.
Yeah, this bird is beautiful in its detail, compelling with this eyeball, and has wonderful contrast. And so the background could be more interesting, but given that eyeball looking right at you, it's going to leave it in.
61 is in. 62, BMX.
This one I kind of like because with the two bike riders, and both with their front wheels off the ground, there was some movement here, some activity. The curves of the road were really nice. So let's leave that one in.
62 is in. 63, Day of Dead, excuse me.
This one was a little dark for me, in tone, and I think she's got an interesting view. Her face is quite engaging, but you find yourself switching back and forth quickly between her face and the skeleton of the skull. So and the roses on her chest. So I think it's out.
63 is out. 64, Tabletop Glass and Water.
This would have been much better. Conceptually I like it, but it would have been much better if there was a more contrast and the whites were whiter, to really give form to the central figure. So it's out.
64 is out. 65, Dead Mistress.
this one was not nearly as compelling as some of the others I've seen. Uh, it's just, I mean, she's looking straight at you, but it just didn't engage me, so it's out.
65 is out. 66, close-up bristles.
Um, it made me think of cat fur, but it clearly is more bristles. Um, there's there's not a lot of there's a lot of texture in the bristles, but there's not a lot of contrast, and there's not. I didn't find it. There's no wow factor for me, so it's out.
66 is out. 67, holiday party.
It's a nice picture of a of a holiday table, um, but I couldn't relate to it very well, so it's out.
67 is out. 68, snowbird crossover.
Um, it's an interesting picture, but for me, it wasn't compelling, and so it's out.
68 is out. 69, sunset beverage.
Um, it really didn't do anything for me. Right at this point, I'd love.
Oh, did we lose you? Hello, Terry. Can you hear me? I think we lost Terry. I'll give her a call back. Hang on with us a little bit. We'll get Terry back on the phone. Still working on getting Terry back on the phone here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Well, this would be a first. I guess we'll do a little tap dancing while maybe Terry finds a charger for her phone. Maybe she ran a little bit of battery there. And we'll see if we can get Terry back up. Officers, probably a good idea to figure out what the contingency plan is if we have a judge just disappear for whatever reason. I hope everyone's doing good tonight. This is like I said, this is a first, so always have a little bit of technical problems every once in a while. I think we have her back. Here we go. Terry, are you back?
Yeah, apparently I had a server error of some sort and my phone went dead, but I could hear you. You couldn't hear me.
No, I couldn't at all.
So,
Well,
but we're
good.
back.
Excellent. The last we talked, we were on number 69, Sunset Beverage.
Right. And it's just not compelling. So it has no wow factor for me. So it's out.
69 is out. So let me get my focus back on Lightroom. 69 is out. Number 70 is Ice.
I like this. It is kind of abstract and interesting and a lot of contrast. And so let's leave it in.
70 is in. 71, Beads in a Bowl.
It is rather gripping when you first see it, but it's too saturated for me, and just I didn't work for me, so it's out.
71 is out. 72 is Pilot.
I thought this was a great capture. You've got the pilot who's kind of glancing over at the camera, and you can see some exhaust coming out, and so it's really a nice shot. There's a lot of good contrast, and so let's leave that one in.
72 is in. 73, Ram's Head Dockside.
This is a nice, I guess, sunset, maybe a sunrise, but there seems to be some lens distortion that bothers me, and it's the whole dark. There's not enough light in it. I know it's at dawn or dusk, but it just doesn't work for me, so it's out.
Okay. 73 is out. 74, V8 Splendor.
Yeah, I like this. It's more of an abstract, and it's kind of it's interesting. It's something that pulls you in, and you can stare at for a while and try to figure it out. And so let's leave it in.
74 is in. 75, OC Air Show.
I like this one because I like the way I like the colors, the yellow and the blue, that works really well. It gives it some pop. I like the exhaust, and it clearly shows you that they're moving in from right to left. Let's leave it in.
75 is in. 76, Caterpillar.
This one I also like. It's just a very simple, clear image of a rusty object. I don't even know what it is, but it's an interesting object, and it's engaging. So let's leave it in.
76 is in. 77, Dead Dress.
I like the feel of some motion in this, but besides that, it didn't do much for me, so it's out.
77 is out. 78, Macro Ball 2.
This has a lot of detail in it, and so it's hard to figure out where my eye should go. I figure it's the ball on the top right side, but it doesn't settle there. It just floats around. So for that reason, it's out.
78 is out. 79, Watch Her Ride.
This is again a good action shot, but she's going off the picture, and the riders in the back and are distracting. So for that reason, it's out.
79 is out. 80, Kenilworth.
This is a fabulous picture. As far as I'm concerned, it's got really beautiful detail in the center of the flower and an interesting flower shape. The colors are gorgeous pastels, and so let's leave that in.
80 is in. 81, Blue Angel lineup.
I didn't like this one as much as the other one. I like the other formation better. There's a lot of empty space in this, and so for that reason, it's out.
81 is out. 82, Fireside Shrimp.
The shrimp look great, but the fire behind it is very distracting. So for that reason, it's out.
82 is out. 83, Library of Congress photographer.
At one point, I was using a camera like that. Didn't last me long because it was very hard to control, and so it's an interesting picture. But as far as an artistic picture, it didn't have a wow factor, so it's out.
83 is out. 84, BMX.
another really good action shot, but there was no story behind it that I could see, and so for that reason, it's out.
84 is out. 85, Sidewinder missile.
Lots of contrast. I like that image, but it didn't have a wow factor for me, so it's out.
85 is out. 86, walking across.
It's got some nice depth to this. It's got a good focal point, but the image itself was not engaging, so it's out.
86 is out. 87 is ready to roll.
This is another one where there's a lot of detail and a lot of different parts to look at. You're scattered all over the place. But also in this one, the left side is very bright, and so your eye goes there instead of to the object of interest, and so for that reason, it's out.
87 is out. 88, wings and wheels.
This one didn't grab me at all. It's a nice sharp photograph, and but like I said, it didn't grab me, so it's out.
88 is out. 89, Ram's Head dockside.
I like the way the path goes to the back. It pulls forward to that point. The lights follow as well. But there isn't enough of interest to keep me engaged, and so for that reason, it's out.
Okay. 89 is out. 90, is my camo working?
My camo. Yeah, I love this picture. I love the white and antlers because that's what is the focal point. That's what pulls you in, and then you come down and see the eyes, and the eyes engage you. I love the way the branches cover the face. I think this picture is really wonderful, and so let's leave it in.
Number 90 is in. 91, Kenilworth Gardens.
This is a lovely picture. It's very simple, but it's very elegant, and it works in black and white because it's got enough contrast and pop to it. So let's leave it in.
91 is in. 92 is Waterline.
This is an interesting approach, but there's not enough here to really keep my interest, and so for that reason, it's out.
92 is out, and that is the end of our unlimited category. Let's go back to the first image and filter out. Let's see here. Looks like we have 27 images. Do you have the same?
2, 4. Hold on a second. 5, 10, 15, 27. Yes.
Okay. Let's go through them one more time and be a little bit more picky and a little bit more mean. You don't need to do a critique anymore. We can just do in or out, okay?
Okay.
Our first remaining image is 3, Ram's Head dockside.
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to do something here. Sorry.
No problem.
Give me just a sec.
No problem. We'd rather make sure we have all the images there for you so that you can make a good judgment for these. Take your time.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Image number 3, Ram's Head dockside.
Um,
And if you just want to do in or out, we can kind of weed these down to maybe to a smaller amount.
out.
Okay. That one's out. 6, resting.
Well, hold on a second. Hit the wrong button.
No problem.
In.
In. 8, spring and fall color.
In.
In. 9, BMI, domino, sugar, smoke.
Out.
Out. 12, little pollen.
In.
12 is in. 13, a slow death.
Out.
13 is out. 19, self-portrait.
Out.
19 is out. 20, bird trio.
In.
20 is in. 21, holiday party.
In.
21 is in. 25, Canadian snowbirds.
Out.
25 is out. 29, silent pod.
In.
29 is in. 36, self-portrait.
Out.
36 is out. 37, tabletop glass and water.
Out.
37 is out. 38, TP Noir.
Out.
38 is out. 46, Day of the Dead, Frank and Mary.
Out.
46 is out. 54, Library of Congress Dome.
Out.
54 is out. 56, Ocean City.
Out.
56 is out. 61, Got My Eye on You.
Out.
61 is out. 62, BMX.
In.
62 is in. 70, Ice.
Out.
70 is out. 72, Pilot.
Out.
72 is out. 74, V8 Splendor.
In.
74 is in. 75, OC Air Show.
Out.
75 is out. 76, Caterpillar.
Out.
76 is out. 80, Kenilworth.
In.
80 is in. 90, is my camo working?
In.
90 is in. 91, Kenilworth Gardens.
In.
91 is in. Let's go back to our... We have 11 images remaining. If you'd like to go ahead and pick a first on that, we will make sure. I don't believe we have any images that may be questionable on their eligibility. But if you'd like to go ahead and pick your first, we will check with the officers and make sure we have a thumbs up.
Okay. Let's see here. My first choice would be number 90. Is my camo working?
Number 90, is my camo working? Let's check with the officers to make sure that we got a thumbs up. I'm pretty sure we do, but let's check on that first. And again, we have about probably about a 15 to 20 second delay.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a thumbs up, and congratulations to our unlimited winner, Michelle Barkdahl, for Is My Camo Working? Congratulations, Michelle. Congratulations, Paul. And congratulations to everyone that submitted these fantastic images from our club events throughout the year. Terry, we want to thank you so much for helping us today, for joining us
Oh,
and picking
thank
through
you for inviting me.
all these images. We've got a little bit of time. Terry, would you like to take any questions?
Sure.
Yeah, we have any
Somebody has
questions? I know we have one question, but before we go to that, I also want to thank Louis Sapienza. Louis, always works hard on putting these images together, and today was these images were 150 that Louis had to call through and put together. So big thank you to Louis. If everybody can thank Louis in the chat as well, we'd appreciate it. Now we did have one question a little bit early in the contest. And somebody would like Mary Lou would have liked you to if you can elaborate a little bit on when you talk about curves.
Elaborate more on, excuse me?
When you mention an image may need some adjustments in curves.
Oh, it for me that means that it's either it needs spots where it needs to be brighter or darker, so that it's not always contrast, but sometimes the white levels are less than optimal, or the black levels are the white levels might be too dark, and the black levels might be too bright. Mm-hmm. And so some of those things need to be adjusted.
I saw some images.
Really
Go ahead.
You can really make some big differences in the way an image looks by making some simple adjustments in the curve.
Right. And I saw a couple images. I saw one image. I can't remember which contest it was, so I'm not really sure if I can bring it back up or not. But one image, and you would actually mention the curves adjustment on. Let me see if I can bring that up. And the image specifically, it looked like the photographer may have done an auto levels on that. And sometimes what happens is you've got like one tiny spot that's really, really dark, or one tiny spot that's really, really light. And when you automatically do that, Photoshop will not blow out that white or that dark any further. But the problem is, your image kind of suffers for it. So it's you can definitely take it a lot further one way or the other. And that's what I saw. A lot of the images that you mentioned curves about kind of did suffer from those.
Yeah, I did notice that in at least one of them. But that was probably what happened.
Right. Let me see if I can pull it up pull up the one that I was thinking of. Oh, this one here, number 50. If you go back to novice novice number 56, Woods Church. Do you have the ability to go back, Terry?
Yeah.
But if you go back to 56 Woods Church, and this is the one I was thinking of, you had commented that curves needed a little bit of adjustment. And what happens is Photoshop will see that light on the top right-hand corner of that image and says, okay, well, this is 255 white. I'm not going to go above that. But if the photographer, great image from Ed, if the photographer would have kind of just stretched a little bit beyond that, it would have brought the facial tones out and the contrast up a little bit.
Exactly.
Do we have any other questions on any of the images, or anything that Terry had kind of said about potentially your image? We'll give people about 15 seconds, and if we don't have any questions, we'll wrap it up.
Well, it's always an honor to be asked to do something like this, and so I want to thank everybody here for having me back. Last year I did it in person, and that was a lot of fun. And this has been also an interesting experience. But it's been really exciting to see some of these wonderful images that your group has come up with.
I'm glad.
So, thank you for inviting me.
We have a lot of people that do a lot of work. As I mentioned, Louis earlier, he does so much work on getting the images once they're in. Everyone does such a great job at submitting the images exactly how they need to be submitted. and they, and it's hard. It's hard thinking back throughout your entire catalog of the year. Okay, what was the first club event? And people do such a great job at submitting great stuff. So I don't see any other
Yeah.
questions, Terry. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
But thank you
Well,
again
thank
so
you.
much, and we'll have for everyone here. We have our banquet next week. Terry, you're welcome to join us right here on our Facebook page. This is where we will announce our end of year result winners. We will also have a couple special program items coming up, and we'll go from there. But thank you again, Terry. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you all next week.
Keep up the good work.
Bye bye.